Hey everyone, it's Strange Michael. I hope you're doing well today. As you know, this past weekend, my wife and I moved into our first ever house that we actually own, which is this one. It's really cool. I love it. And my wife and I wanted to make the first night we lived here very special. We decided to pick out a movie that we really wanted to make our first movie we had seen in the house, one that we could hold in our collection for a long time, until the day we die, and just talk about how it was so cool our first night watching that movie that meant so much to us. And we decided to play it safe. Nothing comedy-wise, really. Nothing horror, because she's not a horror fan. Nothing like that. Nothing animated, in case that's a big miss bag like it usually is now, which I kind of regret. We picked up a Christmas movie at Walmart for like $5 or $10, something like that. But it was a Hallmark Christmas movie, and usually we didn't watch much of it last year, but the years prior to that, my wife and I, for years, even when we were dating years ago, we would watch the Hallmark Christmas movies all the time. She would watch way more of it than I would. She would watch them over and over again. Even if it was one she'd already seen, she'd still be watching it. I myself, if I've already seen it, I just kind of move on to something else. And Hallmark Christmas movies, I like the formula of. I don't really mind it that much. It's kind of repetitive after a while. When you've seen one, you've seen them all. But they can still vary in different ways. Different concepts, different ideas, different executions for sure when it comes to directing or budget or performances, because a lot of these Hallmark actresses are not good. A lot of them, not all of them, but a lot of them are not good. Anyway, this is one that we had never seen. We were both sure of it. And it's from 2022, last year in November, called A Magical Christmas Village. Dude, it was so bad. This was such a missed opportunity. I had thought that it was a little weird how cheap it felt, and I thought, this has to be an older Hallmark movie that they were starting up with. Maybe it was a straight-to-video movie, even though it was a TV movie, but you know what I mean? And I kept thinking, there's no way this is a newer film. It came out last year, in 2022, like I said, and that completely shocked the hell out of me because I did not expect that at all. There's like no snow in the film at all. Like at all. You won't see a snowy lawn or anything. It's clearly one of those Southern California shot movies that are claiming to be a Christmas film, and you see this all the time with low-budget Christmas films. And I hate that. That I've got to the point, if you see Christmas movies that don't have snow in them, it's going to be a bad movie. I'm convinced of that being a truth now. All the best ones have snow. For good reason, because it adds to it. That goes for Hallmark, that goes for Hollywood, I don't care who we're talking about. As long as it has snow, it's going to be a good movie. Magical Christmas Village is not a good movie. It is such a piece of shit. For this to be the memory that I have to hold on to, that this is the first movie I saw in my first ever house that I owned, is some bullshit, because it was so bad. Where do I even start with this piece of shit? So, there's a mom and daughter. The mom is played by Alison Sweeney, whoever the fuck that is. Apparently she's from like Days of Our Lives and stuff. From what my mild amount of research did on IMDb, that's what I found out about her. And she has a mother. She has a sister, but she also happens to have a mother who is just a useless fucking hippie. A total useless hippie that I'm convinced this woman is an old starlet in Hollywood who just eventually got too much surgery. Now she looks like Michael Jackson. And she is awful. She is... Every one of them are putting in a bad performance, basically, except for the guy in the movie, but I'll talk about that in a moment, because I'll tell you about who he is. But this is such a poorly acted film, and Alison Sweeney is just awful. I mean, she has the same syndrome as this other brunette that does a lot of the Hallmark Christmas movies, who just has no fucking personality. Every line she delivers, even if it's supposed to be a joke, seems fake and bitchy. Every single line. I cannot stand this chick. She might be a nice person in real life. I don't know. Nothing against you, Alison Sweeney, but she's not a good actress. She is awful in this movie. I'm not to say that the writing is any good. The writing is not good. There are lines and expressions used in the film that I don't understand, like snow job. What the fuck is a snow job? I understand by context clues it's supposed to be like a fake, a fraud, if you will. I've never heard that expression in my entire life. And I've seen a lot of movies, I've read a lot of books in my almost 30 years, and I'm telling you, I ain't never heard snow job before. It's a new one. And it wasn't even cute. This movie had no real cutesiness to it. It didn't have any passion behind the camera, really. It felt like the biggest cheap out piece of shit I've ever seen in my life. And it kind of makes you wonder, because a couple of years ago, Hallmark said, hey, we're going to be doing more agenda-driven programming, and I was like, that's a bad fucking sign. And then here we are, 2022, this movie last year comes out, and it's a fucking garbage mess. Anyway, back to Michael Jackson mom. She is just useless. Her daughters have to fix every problem she has. She's about to become homeless because she's a fucking idiot. She refuses to work jobs. She just talks about how the universe has everything lined up for me all the time. Just a fucking hippie, and I can't stand it. It drives me nuts. She also happens to have a Christmas village, like the sets of all the little figurines and stuff. And she is invited to come live with her daughter, Allison Sweeney, and her granddaughter. And she does that in their nice little town with, some kind of adventures for Christmas time, some things to do, events, whatever. She brings her Christmas village and her granddaughter, who is way too old to be interested in this. She's probably like 14, 13. If you were telling me she was 9, I'd understand, but she is not. She's clearly like 13, 14 years old. She's playing with the Christmas village, moving the little people around and stuff. And then we as the audience know that she doesn't know this. She makes a wish on the village that she just kind of plays around with the idea of her mom falling in love with a guy. And that basically is what we watch as the movie, even though the daughter doesn't know this is happening, even though she wished upon it because her grandmother told her it was a magical playset, let's say. She begins to make the wishes on it, plays with the little figurines, move people around. And as she moves them to different parts of the town, as she plays with them, like, if her mom, she wishes her to go sing with this guy she wants her to fall in love with, the mom ends up doing that. It's that kind of weird magical stuff. And basically the guy that Allison Sweeney's character falls in love with for this movie is Luke Macfarlane, this fellow right here, who I don't think is a bad actor at this point. I think he might be okay. The lines that he's given and the way they tell him to deliver them with the directing are so unhuman and just weird, and it's garbage. Like, he comes on the screen, he has this, like, Kevin Conroy voice. He has a good voice to play Batman on an animated show or something, if he wants to in the future. But Luke Macfarlane happens to be the guy from, one of the main guys from that very controversial gay comedy called Bros. Yes, he is one of the guys that are the leads in that film, and I'm pretty sure he was the butthurt one that got all over the internet talking shit to everybody for not going to see a stupid-ass comedy. But it's not everybody else's fault, Luke Macfarlane, if your fucking movie just adds to the point that comedy's dead now. But he comes on the scene with his really good voice, and he's like, "Hello there, I'm new in the town. I would love to have a date with you, if you would have me." He always does shit like that. He says everything like that, and it's hilarious, and it's bad, and it's just it's so Anchorman-like, It's almost like on the verge of, if you went far enough, you could make this a parody, a satire of this kind of movie, and they totally don't. It's like they almost wanted to, but they didn't go that route. It is embarrassing. I would be embarrassed if I starred in this movie and made the kind of performance that I gave in these movies, or this movie. If this is modern Hallmark, there is a reason people are not watching modern Hallmark anymore. The lack of snow, again, there's really nothing magical about it. There's no real focus on small town decorations and community and all of that. It's not really anything like that. This movie might be one out of a bundle of movies from last year from Hallmark that might just be a piece of shit, but it is a piece of shit nonetheless. It has nothing going for it. No passion, no real Christmas spirit, nothing really fun or magical about it despite the title. It has nothing going for it. It is so embarrassingly bad, with a couple of cute lines from Luke Macfarlane, who delivers a decent, okay performance at times. Not good, decent, okay performance at times. Aside from him, everybody else is bad, or everybody else is intolerable. The sister character in the film, who's also a grown adult, she's okay, I guess. This movie's bad. The writing, the acting almost always is bad. The music is not very good, which Hallmark music for their movies are not very good to begin with. It's typically very cheap. This is no exception to that, which is fine. I don't care about cheap movies as long as it's a good movie. It doesn't matter to me. Halloween was cheap to make and it's well made, so in your face, Hallmark. I'm not a typical Hallmark hater. Like I said, I typically enjoy these films despite them being so formulaic, but this one was just one that I don't have words for. I just don't have any way that I can explain to you why it would be okay for this to be as bad as it is. This is a hell of a mess, man. What a bad movie. Anyway, with that being said, A Magical Christmas Village is the first movie I got to see in this new house, and it broke my heart. This is the one I have to remember for years. My wife, who likes everything Christmas, who likes everything romance, she hated this shit too, which tells me it's a total turd. It absolutely is. Anyway, A Magical Christmas Village. What did you think about it? Did you love it? Did you hate it? I'd love to hear your thoughts and comments about it down in the comment section down below. If I had to rate this movie on a 5-star basis, I would give it like a 2 out of 5 stars. There's almost nothing I like about it, but at least Luke Macfarlane made it kind of watchable sometimes. And some of the sets are okay, but it's all interior. There's nothing exterior, almost ever. But the Christmas Village thing is kind of nice too. I like that concept. I just wish it was in a better movie with the moving the figurines around, making real life people do things too. But that could be cool, but it's completely dropped in this movie. Like, the ball is dropped, dude. It's fumbled to hell. Anyway, A Magical Christmas Village, what did you think? Once again, put your thoughts and comments down below. If you happen to be a big Hallmark person, like I said, my wife and I didn't watch almost anything last year from Hallmark. If you happen to be a big fan, was it like this all last year? I know it was not like this in 2021. I saw a bunch of the newer releases in 2021 from the Hallmark Channel, but I know it was not like this in 2021. Was pretty much every film that came out last year, was it like this, or was it the pre-Christmas time movies that were like that? I don't know. I'm super curious. But anyway, thank you all for watching, guys. 2 out of 5 stars. God bless you all. I guess I would say Merry Christmas, but it's really closer to Thanksgiving, so Happy Thanksgiving. Hope you had a good Halloween yesterday, and God bless you all. Goodbye.